the upper traps, the SCM, the levator scapula muscle particularly. So the first one is a side bend with a lateral rotation. So there's a few ways to do this. So one is to put one hand by the side and the other arm comes up. And so this one we're working on the side of the neck. So this is the SCM and the trap that attaches at the base of the occiput. So we're going to do this with weight and without weight. So we want to put the hand up overhead, and it's really important where the head is looking. So as you start to lean over, you'll feel first a stretch of the side body, which is good, but that's not what we're focusing on. Even weight through the feet. And you want to look up at the hand, and at the same time, focus on reaching the ear down to the shoulder. And see my neck just cracked. And you want to actually get into that stretch right here, but you don't want to completely lose integrity of the spine. So it's really important to maintain strength through the core and that gaze up as it's kind of awkward. You're gazing up, but you're also reaching down. The problem, if you look down, you'll lose that stretch. So you want to gaze up, and you can go as far down as you're comfortable. You'll feel a lot of work here too. And then work as you feel it. So like as you look more towards the thumb, you'll feel something. And as you kind of look more towards the opposite side of the rib, you'll feel something different, and switch sides. So I would hold that for about 15 seconds, but work with it so you can kind of gently move your neck. It's just really important to keep the core strength and keep the integrity of the spine here so you're not like completely losing that cervical alignment. And then you can reach over. So that's a side bend. So with that, you can also add weight. I like this. So this is just, whatever weight. This is 20 or maybe like 22 pounds. So how this works is it adds a little bit of tension, and this time I'm going to go to the opposite side. So you can start with just kind of feeling that strength in the core going side to side, and then you do the same thing that we just did but with weight, and the other hand is down this time, and you just use the weight to pull this whole side of the arm down, and heavy weight is actually very good here. So it's creating a really good stretch through the side of my neck, and that will help with any neck pain that is coming into the head and any headaches through the side of the head, because it's pulling down my whole trapezius and my SCM and all of these muscles at the base of the occiput. So I just kind of you don't have to worry too much here because the weight does a lot of the work for you. That's why I like to use the weight. And then the same thing. So I'm kind of gazing up here, and the use of gazing up, it allows me to work the stretch and really feel the stretch of my neck. And this is great for the front of the neck. I can feel that. And I would hold for about 15 seconds. And again, you can move around, do some work in your obliques. Core strength is always good, so it's good to integrate that. And then other side. It's super awkward. You do want to draw the chin in slightly, not be like this. That's the case with all of these exercises. And then you just feel it out, keep the gaze up as we did before, and then kind of that way. So that's the two stretches to start with. The next one is just a forward bend with arms clasped behind the hand. And as I've written in the form, you can choose any of these to do. You don't have to do them all. This is just a few that I think are useful. So forward bend, so feet are about hip width apart. And we're going to start a few movements here for opening the chest and also strengthening the back muscles, because part of the symptoms here through the neck are from tightness through the chest. So opening the chest is really important here. And the key thing with this pose and a few others we're going to be doing soon is drawing back through the shoulder blades and draw the traps, which run from here all the way down the back, or not the full way, but to about here, and really drawing those shoulders down, the trapezius away from the ear, counteracting this thing that we do a lot. So anyway, so we're going to start here and maintaining that integrity. Then we fold. So we don't want to lose that and end up here. And the flexibility is variable. Like, I'm pretty flexible and I can get kind of far down, but I don't want to completely lose the trapezius and let my shoulders inch up toward my ear. I want to keep drawing the shoulder blades back. One way to do this is slightly bend the knees and flat spine, and then you draw the shoulders back instead of, you don't even need to do this. But even actually, you know, as I'm doing this, it's better this way. If you can just use this pose, you can place the palms together if you can, and feel a straight line from the coccyx to the head, and use this just open the chest. And then if you want to go fully with all the way down, you fold forward. If the hands can't clasp together, you just use, you know, whatever. A shirt will be fine, and you can come down. But same thing, shoulders away from the ears. So we're going to do wall angles. This can be done seated or standing. So I'm going to do it seated. So what you do is you sit against the wall. You can do it standing as well. And as we just did, the goal of this is opening of the chest and strengthening and stabilizing of the shoulder and neck muscles. Really, it's a very subtle strengthening. Do we need to read? Okay. So arms are coming to the side of the elbows are to the side of the shoulders, kind of a 90 degree. Really important here that the back is flush against the wall, that there isn't leaning forward happening. And it's a super simple move. All you do, again, as we just covered, shoulders away from the ears. All you do is arms up and down. And it might be, you know, the goal is that the whole back, the entire spine and the hands stay flush against the wall as we do this. And I would suggest 10 reps here, slow reps. But sometimes, like, the flexibility in the shoulders is not great, and it's hard to do that. So as you do 10 reps, you will start to feel some fatigue in the bicep muscles and maybe even around the pecs, and that's good. But the focus is less in that aspect. It's really in learning how to draw the shoulders away from the ears and get that stabilization and strength through the neck and the traps as we move through the arms. So these are wall angles. Really, really great exercise. Also just great for posture. Trains the spine to sit up, and it just like feels really good. I like those a lot. The next one is we're working both opening of the chest. So this is an arm stretch. So with this one, working opening of the chest, and then also actually trying to get into opening through like the armpit area, and that connects up all through here, which is the area we're working on in this. So it's really simple. It's just clasping the arms behind the head. That's pretty difficult for a lot of people to get that clasp. So you can use a shirt, or this is a band, and you just do this. The key here though is as you do this, be aware of the placement of the head and the neck. So you want to create a slight double chin instead of kind of pushing forward. And as you're creating this stretch, you draw the head back slightly, draw the chin back like you're creating a double chin, and you will feel a very gentle stretch through the base of the head. And you just hold that. There is a yoga pose, just since I'm here, Parvottanasana, and you hold that and you can fold forward. It's a good pose. And then you relax the head completely. And you want to bring the head toward the knee. That's the full extent of this. It's not really treating what we're focusing on, but it's good to know. And so you opposite side, and then you can move into the stretch. However, this pose is good because it does work on tension that arises in the low back around the sacroiliac joint and the sacrum. And so when you do this and you fold forward, head to knee, you'll feel a stretch all through the back of the leg, and it all connects to the neck. So that's the next one. And now we're going to do a few twists. And with the twists, it's again working this whole area. Twists are really good for the whole spine, all of the muscles that surround the spine. It increases circulation in the spine. So we're going to do a yoga pose called Utkatasana with a twist. So we start, and this works with strengthening, stretching, and also strengthening through the joint, through the knees and thighs. So arms up, we're bending down. The weight is in the heels, so I like to draw my toes up to ensure my weight is in the heels. And first and foremost, the same thing that we just did, shoulders away from the ears, shoulders draw back and down. So instead of like this, I want to almost like wrap, like I actually do that sometimes, I like wrap my shoulder blades around to kind of create that, like I'm holding something almost. It prevents this, which is the opposite of what we're trying to do, which is create more space through the neck. And then come to prayer pose, and then you twist. And if we're working on the neck, I do want to look up because that creates a stretch through here and also through the spine. And then you switch. It's a difficult, like your heart rate can go up here. And I feel that stretch as I'm looking up. And I press my palms together. And that's that one. So 2 more standing poses. The next one is eagle pose. So you can do this just the arms. The arms, one arm goes on, the right arm, let's say, goes under the left, and we wrap, and you create a prayer. And this can be done just by itself. You can do this sitting, and really almost like you're pulling your elbows away from each other. What that does, like I'm pulling them away, but in doing that, I'm pressing my elbows together actually, and it creates this pull through here, and I can do my side neck bend with that. And that creates a really good stretch through my neck because of the opposition that I'm creating through the bicep and the arms, and then that connection to the neck. Then you can add in the legs if you want to do a wrap. So you wrap the opposite leg and the opposite arm. And then you can, if you want to work on your balance, that way. And then switch sides. And that's the full one. So then I would come to this. So if I'm wrapping my right arm over my left, I bring my left ear to the left shoulder, so it's opposite. And you'll feel a stretch all through here. Same thing with this one actually, when you do this wrap, you can do your neck, the connection with the arms and the neck, and you can do a side stretch. The last standing pose is triangle pose. So feet are about 3 feet apart, and then the center of the front foot is in line, or the heel of the front foot is in line with the center of the back foot. This back foot is turned slightly in. Weight is evenly distributed. It's really important that weight's not like on, it's neither like supinated or turned out. And arms out to the side. And then we reach forward first, so keeping that alignment through the side body, alignment through the spine, not coming here. Shoulders draw down away from the ears. So all of these themes stay consistent. And arm can just go to the base of the knee. And then for this, I actually want to try to do the wrap. So you take the top arm and you wrap it around you, and if you can reach, and then you gaze up, and that works the whole sternocleidomastoid. So from behind, so you're actually, this is a good strengthening because you really have to work that muscle. And those are the standing poses, and you would switch sides. So we're going to start with locust pose, and there's two variations. So first, just the setup. So the setup is the hands are underneath the shoulders, the forehead can come down to the mat, and you're lying prone, and start with drawing the shoulders up and down. So the shoulders kind of wrap around and down, and first put a little bit of weight in the hands, and you'll feel a slight stretch through the spine. The feet remain on the ground right now, and then we slightly lift the hands and use the back muscles to hold the head and the thorax up, and this is just a good strengthener. From here, I want you to interlace. And when we do this, if you're trying to stretch the neck, which is what we're trying to do in this sequence, you can take left ear to left shoulder, right ear to right shoulder, and pull back and down, and just hold. And then repeat right ear to right shoulder, left ear to left shoulder. And then the legs can then come up. I like to touch the feet here. It just adds a little more intention to the pose. And you hold. Resist the temptation to draw up. We don't actually want to do that. We want to create that double chin a little bit even. Draw the chin in, really stabilizing through the neck muscles, and then you can add the stretch. From there, I like to add in the bow pose. So the hands come to the ankles. It's called Dhanurasana, and you pull up through the legs, but like you don't want to use the arms to pull you up. You actually want to use the strength of the legs and the back muscles, particularly the low back muscle. That's where you get the stretch. So I use my legs to pull me up, and then I'm free through my neck because I'm not straining, and then I can get that stretch through the chest and the pec muscles, through the shoulders, shoulder blades draw together. From here, puppy dog pose. So another just great neck stretch. So I come into child's pose, and then I inch my hands forward, and I'm going forward, 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 and chin comes down to the mat. And I feel a stretch to the front of the neck and through the back of the neck. And you can hold that for as long as you want. If you can't get the chin, head can come down. But try to work to the chin because that's where you get that really good stretch. The next one is a chin tuck. So this was taught to me by somebody who had a car accident, and it was prescribed for neck pain after the car accident. I think she told me she did it every day, and it really, really helped. And I do this all the time. It really helps. So you come actually head down. You almost want to come onto the base of the occiput. So you want to like roll over. Looks weird. And then I bring my knees to my head, and then I grab my heels, and I use that and I pull myself forward so that I really get on the base of the neck here. And I can get a really awesome stretch through the back of the neck. So great for cervical neck injury. But you gotta actually pull with your arms. And you can hold that for as long as you want. The last one in this sequence is the seated twist. So you can have the left leg out. This is just a good counter. The left leg out, the right leg comes outside of the left, the right foot outside of the left knee. the left arm around the right knee, and the right arm behind the right hip, and you twist. You can, if you're flexible, wrap. If you wrap, it's also just more of a stretch for the spine. You can get the same thing if you just use the hand to stretch. That is that sequence. The last thing is a few core strengthener exercises. So one of the exercises is called the Bruegger exercise, and you can use this with a theraband, or you can just use this without any assistance. And with this one, the shoulders are, again, back and down away from the ears. What we're doing here is we're strengthening through the traps. And you want to work on, kind of like what was done with the wall angles, drawing the shoulder blades down and back together. So I'll do this with my back facing so you can see. So well, actually we'll start like this. So the hands are in this posture. So the forefingers are tucked in and the thumbs are face backward. And really it's just very gentle. And I keep my chin tucked in, spine is straight. You can do this standing or sitting on a table. And I bring my fingers back and down. And at the same time, I'm drawing my shoulder blades together. And you can repeat. This is great to do with a band. This isn't the best band for it. This actually isn't what you should be using. But if you want to do a band, like this is a theraband, you would use the band and pull it. I don't have one right now, so we're not going to do that. The next one is called dead bug. This is a good way to end this sequence if you're choosing a few. It's just a good core strengthener and also stabilizer for the spine. So you come to lie flat, and your back is on the mat, your legs are in a 90-degree position, and you start with your arms up. So it's called dead bug, like this is a dead bug. And great core strengthener, and also you want to keep your head and neck and shoulder blades off the mat, so you're getting that strength through the core, but you're also working your neck muscles here, arms up, and then left leg comes down and up and opposite side. And I would do 10 total, so 5 on each side. You can do 3 rounds, so you rest between to rest the neck. And it's really just super simple, opposite. The hard thing here though is to keep the spine from curling up and to really keep the core strong and flush against the mat while you do that. And then the last one we're going to do is the alternate hands and knee. Super simple, also like a core strengthener. Start in tabletop, and you can do a few cat-cow here actually. Just to move through the spine, always a good idea. And then alternate hands and knees. So left leg up, right arm out, pushing down through the left hand, strength through the biceps, strength through the shoulder, and switch. And opposite side, so great core strengthener, good for the spinal alignment, and all of this connects to any sort of neck pain. So those are a few exercises to help strengthen and stretch the sternocleidomastoid, the trapezius. It also works opening through the pec muscles, even the rhomboids in the back and alignment through the spine. So all this will help with neck pain and injury along this area through the neck and the SCM. So that is all. Thank you for watching.